That's pretty good contact there. All right, so let's see where this goes. Pretty good shot. Do you typically hit a draw like that?
Yeah, typically a draw, or I push it out to the right.
So you push it out to the right. Does the draw ever hook?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So switch with me for a second.
All right.
All right. So if you swing the club super inside like this, and then try to swing from here, the club face either has to turn over, which is going to be an inconsistent draw, sometimes a hook, or the handle's riding forward and it's going to pull and the club face is pointed out to the right and you push them. Okay, does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Right, so we want to swing more upright and on plane, which is right about the elbow line from the down the line camera, right there, just like that. Okay, so it's going to feel more upright and probably a little bit more over the top to you. So get back in there. All right. And let me see you feel like you swing a little bit more up and out here on the takeaway, and then you're going to feel like you cut across it to the left at the bottom. There we go. Now that's going to be straight, but it's going to be straight left because you turned your shoulders to the left as you did it. Okay. So let's kind of take a look at first that first swing that you made right here, where you took it way inside. So we're going to draw the plane line on you, which is going to be about the elbow. There we go. And you can see you swing way below it. There's your club down here. When you swing below it, again, it had to turn over to hit the ball, or it would just stay like that and pull and the ball would go to the right. So now you get right here, and let's see what your new takeaway looked like. Again, we'll draw that same plane on you. So it's going to be right about there. Here we go. Way higher. And now you've actually overcorrected. You see that? You've come over the plane. And that makes you enter from out here where you see your club head is. Okay? And some of that is because, get ready to go up to the top and stop. If you start turning this way as you're swinging, that's going to take that more over. Yeah. Right? So try to stay more frontal and less turning like that, which is called transverse rotations. All right, so straight, almost straight up to you, and then cut down at the bottom. Okay, good. Again, you turned as you did it. Yeah, but it's going to be a lot better shot. So you can see, no longer do we have that fighting that draw move. Now we've just got to straighten this move out. So again, if we just look at this and we go up to the top and stop, again, we draw our plane line on you, which is going to be right about there. Okay. Yeah. You still come above it a little bit. Again, that's because you're still turning those shoulders over to the left at impact, over to here, okay? Yeah. Yep. So let's see if we can make another swing where maybe not as high, because we've already shown you're a little bit above, all right? And then just do not turn and feel like that's why Scheffler drags his feet. We want to feel that, not this. That looked really good. I don't know if we caught the center of the face, but it looked really good. Okay, so we got a good starting line off of it. So let's see what you looked like. There we go. That's looking like it's a lot more on plane. There's that plane again. Here we go. And then you're a lot closer to it there. Your club's still a little bit outside entry right there. So let's try again. And what I would change, kind of like how you're standing this open, is saying here's your frame. So that's outside the ball for where we want to go, but it's actually in line with the ball if you're framed this way. Okay. All right, so turn a little bit more that way. There you go. Okay. And anytime we do that, we're walking in a semicircle. Okay. So it would be like this if I was to just keep going. Yeah. Most people are like, oh, let me just put this foot back. Right. That didn't change anything. So you've actually got to give it a little semicircle walk to achieve it. That's it. I'm going to put the ball a little bit further up in your stance. Okay. There we go, because putting it back in our stance is just begging the handle to come through there and then have to hook it or push it. There we go. Way better. Here we go. It's going to start left and come back. A normal tour cut right there. So yeah, that's really good. Excellent. So let's take a look here and see what we got. So here we go. draw the plane line on you, which again is going to sit right about there. You can see you take it back slightly under, but this is way better than where you were taking it. And then on your way down, bang, you're right on it. Right on that elbow line right there. Boom. Club comes from slightly inside, which is what it's supposed to do, right there. And then it exits. We can see that number right here, -3. Exits -3 on the way through. And that's what tour players do, is they enter from the inside and exit left. That doesn't mean their body turns left. It means the club does. And you can only achieve that by A, being on plane, and B, releasing like that, not this and not like this. You've got to release this handle cup up and this handle go under it. But because your body's moving when you do that in a response, it actually squares it straight into the ball. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Try that again.
Yeah, let's see if you can do that again. Very good. And then you can tell you stayed frontal because you really tried to stay in that same position. This is the best one that you hit. Let's take a look at this. Get to the top right there. We throw that plane line on you, which sits about right there. You feel like you release from the top.
Yep.
Again, that's your static feeling. In reality, the club goes right onto the plane, halfway down, right there, bang. Halfway down, it hits the plane. Then it rides slightly from the inside, which is right there. It's going to exit -4.6 to the left on the way through. And we want that cut feeling. Here's that -2.3. Club face has to be less than the path, which would be right here, which means that ball is going to finish right here. So the path left, the face less, and the ball flight will be even less. And that's how tour players are hitting those shots. And also notice your left hand through impact is blocking that roll. It's not letting you do it. Right, because the fold is this, and then it does that instead of exactly. So let's see if we can do that again. That's it. Square that face up a little bit more up in that stance. There we go. Same move. Oh, yeah. How'd that feel?
Good.
Right. And so most people, when they hear, oh, release it early, they're like, oh, well, you're making somebody scoop the ball. Well, that's not necessarily true with -1.4 attack angle right there and the one before it -2.4 attack angle. So we're not making you scoop at it. It just feels like that. Exactly. So here's that last one that you hit. Again, I stop you at the top. I draw a plane line on. We see you release early. Hits the plane halfway down. This is perfect. It's going to enter slightly from the inside. It's going to exit -3.8. And the club face will be -1.1, which is a little bit less, which is going to make the ball go, again, as we can see, dead straight. So that's how tour players are hitting these cuts and working the ball slightly left to right and still holding their distance, versus amateur golfers and most club pros look at the left of the ball and go, oh God, that's terrible, because they relate it to a loss of distance because they're pulling the handle when they do it. Tour players are releasing the club when they do it. That's why they hit the ball left to right and they still hold their distance. Let's see you do it again.
All right.
A little bit more up in that stance. That's it. This looks really good. Stay frontal, do your thing. Very good. And this will start a little bit more left, but it's certainly come back. And here it comes. Okay? So really, really good swinging with your path, -4.8 on the way through, as long as, and this is the most important thing, again, if I draw the plane line on you right here, and you can see that you meet the plane halfway down, this is beautiful. If you were below it like you used to be, you wouldn't be able to meet it halfway down because you'd be so below it, right? You're never going to go up in the swing on the way down, right? So here we go. As long as the club's still coming from either straight behind or slightly inside, which is what this is, slightly inside, it can exit up to 6 degrees left on the way through. And as long as the face is less up to an extent, so if you're going to go minus, we'll call this 5, you better go about minus 2.5 to get the target. You won't lose distance, right? And this will still be good. And that's what you did. And there's margin of error there. So minus 5 path on the way through, minus 3.3, you're still 15 feet left of the target. I mean, tour average of the 7-iron is 32 feet proximity to the hole. So if you were less, you'd be on the target. If you were even less, you'd be on the right side. If you just swung the face in the same path, you'd just be right here. Right, so big deal. But if you're trying to go perfectly 0-0, you don't have margin for error, and you don't know which way it's going to go. All right, so let's see if you can do that again.
Yeah. I never usually fade it like that. So that's
Right.
really good.
With the distance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Let's get that up in the stance just a bit.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Okay.
Very good there. And again, you came back to that frontal position because you're not trying to spin through the shot.